assistant coaches, head coaches, across the board, all levels, Division
First,
One.
for the average associate head coach.
The associate head coach, I would say probably the highest paid are probably somewhere in the $120,000 range, and maybe 150. Yeah, 150 probably highest. Lowest, you're probably looking at around 50,000.
At the next level, at the head coach, what are the typical salary ranges for them?
You could go anywhere from 40,000 till about $500,000. So there's a wide range, depending on the program.
What do you feel like you have to do personally in order to continue reaching the level of success you've accomplished in the most recent years?
What do I need to do personally?
Yes.
Well, I don't want to continue reaching the success that we've had in recent years. I want to improve upon that success and build and move forward from it. And I think something that's very important for us is systems. There's systems in place. There's a plan in place, a long-term planned out system that we've been following over the last 5 years that we've been here at NC State. And we're on track with what we're doing and where we're headed. I don't know that there's a lot that we need to change. There's always going to be tweaks and things that we need to improve on. And it also depends on the team. With an older, more mature team returning, we'll handle certain situations and training different than a freshman laden team, and so it depends on that, on what we're doing exactly. But there is a long-term plan in place, and I think the biggest thing is not veering off course, staying consistent and focused, laser-like focused on the plan, and following it through to the finish.
Head wrestling coach here at NC State, Pat Papalizio, he asks, on average, how many ounces of Diet Pepsi do you intake?
On average in a day?
Yes.
I would say a 2-liter is probably about the average.
Another follow-up question to that, head coach here at NC State, Pat Papalizio, he asks, in your career, who gave you the biggest beatdown?
There's a few. I would say the ones that stand out the most would be Musfar Akhtarakmanov, who Pat coached at American University, finished 3rd in the country at the Division I level. I wrestled him while I was at the junior college level, and he was at the junior college level 3 times, and he beat me down pretty good. He was a bad one. And probably the next worst was my sophomore year of college, David Boyard, who's currently the head coach at Eastern Michigan. Beat me pretty bad at a tournament in Indiana, and he was a couple-time All-American. Third worst was probably Dante Penn of Edinburgh.
Do you feel in order to be successful as a Division I coach at your level, you must have first been a top-level college wrestler?
No. I don't think so. I don't think you have to win a national title or be an Olympian to be a great coach. I think that's a myth. You don't see it with other sports. I think a lot of times those coaches have a hard time relating to kids when they struggle. Kids that just don't have the magic that they had, don't have the unique hips, or have the unique ability to find a way to win that they had, or have the speed or power that they had. And I think that's why you see a lot of these coaches across the country that were great wrestlers, some of the best wrestlers of all time, but they struggle to succeed as a coach because they're hired based on their wrestling career. And at the end of the day, they're not the ones that are out there wrestling. It's coaching, and they don't have the skills as a coach they need to develop some of those student athletes. So I don't think you have to be a super high level elite wrestler to be a great coach. I think you have to have a good knowledge, and you have to be able to evolve.
What kind of experience paid or unpaid, would you encourage for anybody interested in pursuing a coaching career?
Absolutely. You got to get your hands on it. You got to get involved in it. If you want to coach at the college level, obviously you need to be around a college program and work with them. I think one of the best things anybody can do if they're looking to coach is in the summertime you do a camp, you do a club, something, but you coach little bitty kids. You coach 5, 6, 7-year-old kids that have an attention span of a gnat that just can challenge you in different ways. And then I think you coach those kids. I think you coach junior high kids, you coach high school kids, and you coach college kids. Whether it's at camps or clinics or at different things like that. But that will give you the best idea of where you'll be the most effective once you get to see kind of all areas, all skill levels and ages and ranges. That'll give you the best idea of where your best coaching will be. Whether you have the ability to coach younger kids or older kids. And it'll also kind of give you a better perspective when you're coaching. Even if it is the elite Division I kids you want to coach, it'll give you a better perspective when you coach 5 and 6-year-olds on that coaching. So I think it's important to do that, and also pick coaches' brains that are in that field and kind of see what the challenges are, see what the benefits are, see what the pluses and negatives are kind of across the board in all areas.
Lastly, are there any notable questions that I haven't asked you yet to help my understanding of your career?
I hope that gives you a good view of the career. One thing that I think is pretty unique in wrestling as a coach is that you're physically out there wrestling, training with the guys on the team, where you don't see that. You don't see football coaches out there taking hits and pads taking hits on the football field, and some of these other sports. But you're in it. You're in the grind of it. You're in the mix. Everything that these guys have to do, you had to do at some point, or you have to do currently. So it's a unique animal. It's a different kind of coaching than a lot of different sports. But at the end of the day, more than anything, there's a lot of great athletes. They don't always win. It's training the mental side, the physical side, the emotional side. It all goes hand in hand. And I think it's very important if you're then a coach to be well-rounded in all those areas and know how to push and motivate and get the most out of your kids.